Hey guys, this is PhilosopherKing. How's it going? Time to present to you another Advanced OU battle. And my opponent this time is named, not Ouija, that's not him, M4ta Stud5nt. It's very artificial, so I don't know what it's a reference to, doesn't matter. This battle, to warn you, is another one of those stallish battles, but it's not 276 turns. Do not turn the video off. It's not that. This one's actually, you won't get bored. Just say that. So here we go. So I lead Salamence, he leads Skarmory. That's a bad matchup from the start, so I'm obviously going to switch here. Salamence, even if choice banded, won't be able to break this Skarmory. However, this is a new team, so it's not choice banded like it usually is. But I switch and he switches, so we get Melodic on Fortress, and that's not good for me. I switch again, he uses Surf, I mean, why not? And I get Blissey, which takes it pretty well. And I go for Thunderbolt, and he goes to Skarm, I guess anticipating a switch, or not thinking I had Thunderbolt, but I did, and I did it chunks, 70%, and I get a lucky Paralysis. So from the start, I'm pretty well off. Since in Celebi to take the next Thunderbolt, takes it like a beast, I get out of there, go to my Salamence. He uses Leech Seed, which kind of gives me a hint on what kind of set it is. Very special sweeper Celebes don't carry Leech Seed, so it might be one of those bulky Celebes to handle like Snorlax with Leech Seed or any other wall. But I go for Ice Beam, and the Celebi gets a critical hit and almost dies. So I bring in Dugtrio anticipating a recovery. It doesn't work out. He switches to Blissey, and I said, why not? I'll go for Earthquake. Go for Earthquake. Doesn't do as much as I want, and I stay in thinking, well, the Bliss wished up, so either it's going to heal itself or it's going to heal Celebi, and I thought the Earthquake would do enough damage to kill the Celebi if it switched. It didn't, and the Celebi is back to almost full health, so that didn't work out too well. So we're repeating my what happened last time. I bring Salamence on Celebi, uses Leech Seed, I get Leech Seeded. Decide to stay in here, go for Hidden Power, brings in his Melodic, which is a good Salamence answer. But I'm not going to stay in for Ice Beam, which I thought was coming, but he uses Toxic. Unfortunately, it lands on Blissey, and Blissey can heal it off just by switching thanks to its natural cure ability. For whatever reason, he decides to send in Zapdos. That's usually not a good Bliss answer, but since I'm poison, I guess he assumes I'm switching out. So I switch out anticipating a Thunderbolt, and he does that, and I bring in Dugtrio on the Zapdos. I could go for Rock Slide here. That's probably the right thing to do, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that. However, I pretty much brought it in just to switch back in and out, cure my Blissey's poison, bring it back in. So he switches out from Zapdos into a Skarmory, and my Blissey comes in. He's not going to stay in, so I anticipate that and go for Calm Mind, but he brings in his Bliss, so that's not going to work out. His team's looking pretty stallish. Zapdos, Blissey, Skarmory. Skarm-Bliss is famous. It's a famous team build-up. Zapdos is, with those two, they're probably... it's a very bulky Zapdos, special wall, has Roar maybe, who knows. Dusclops definitely lets me know this is a stall team because of its pressure ability, and Dusclops is very bulky in turn, so I'm looking at a stall team here, so I have to win this as quickly as possible because my team is not going to be able to out-stall him. If we ever get to that PP war, I hope that's not the case. Anyway, I don't want to get too lost here. So we end up Bliss on Bliss, and that's not going to make me happy. So I get out of there. I don't want anything to do with Bliss on Bliss. So I go for Meteor Mash. I go for Metagross into the Blissey. He takes the Seismitoss. This Metagross is choice banded, so that's not going. That damage is going to be there to stay. Try to get the Dougie in on the recover Celebi, but he doesn't recover with Celebi. He switches and goes Melodic, so he's not falling for that. Go back to Blissey, uses Toxic. Toxic hits Blissey, doesn't matter, it's a natural cure poke. I use Ice Beam anticipating Zapdos coming in, but he brings in Bliss instead, which he probably should have done that originally. Anyway, he uses Wish. I see this as becoming annoying, so I decide to bring in my Fortress and begin to spike up, but I decide not to do that. I bring in Dugtrio on the Bliss, maybe trying to trap it and destroy it because I see it as being a problem. Doesn't work out that way. He brings in Skarmory, and the Skarmory starts using spikes, so that's going to speed things along. Not the way I want it to. I want to be the one to spike up. He shouldn't spike up. You know, it's not fair. But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty much just switching around here, trying to start getting some spikes in. I use spikes. There we go. Brings in the Skarmory. He doesn't look like he has a rapid spinner of any kind. Just a spiker and a rapid spin blocker. So the trick here now is to kill the rapid spin blocker, which is Dusclops, and get my spike set up and whirl away his. That's the plan. I'm gonna try to do that, but I go for Thunderbolt here on the Skarmory, and he decides to stay in, which isn't good. He gets paralyzed, so yeah, that was unfortunate for him, but doesn't matter. Goes to Blissey. I'm not going to do anything to the other Blissey. Even if I Calm Mind up, he could just use Wish. Yeah, I don't know what his fourth move is. Otherwise, I'd be sending in like Salamence. The Blissey might have Ice Beam, but I Calm Mind up here because I'm not gonna stop the Blissey with it, but whatever he tries to pass the Wish onto, I can hit hard. But I'm not allowed to stay in here. He uses Toxic, and that's going to force me out eventually, so better get out later now than later. So I read my Metagross again, and he uses Seismic Toss. Now, the debate here is whether to use Meteor Mash or Explosion. He might send in Dusclops, anticipating Explosion, and in which case that would suck because it wouldn't do any damage. So I decided to play the safe option here and go for Meteor Mash, because it'll do a ton to Blissey, or probably knock it out, and it would do a ton to Dusclops. So I'd rather not risk it and go for Explosion and just nothing happen. I exploded my poke for nothing. And yep, he brings out the Dusclops. And he takes a hefty Meteor Mash, and I get an attack raise. So he brings in the Melodic to take the Meteor Mash, and the attack raise plus the spikes damage almost kills it. So I'm hoping I'm faster here, and I'm not, so the Surf kills me and my Metagross is down. I'm surprised I stayed in there, to be honest. For whatever reason, I thought I was going to be faster than Melodic, in which case I would have killed the Melodic. But it didn't work out, so 6-5, he's in the lead. So I bring in my Blissey to try to gain some ground here, maybe stay in. He goes, and I go for Thunderbolt, but it doesn't work out. He's not dumb. Goes to Blissey again. Oh, Blissey. This Blissey's pretty much keeping my team from moving forward. I mean, but that's the whole point of a stall team, just to keep your opponent from gaining any momentum. Just wait till he quits or runs out of PP. That's the object. But yeah, I try to Calm Mind up again, anticipating a Wish. He doesn't even buy. He goes for Toxic. I get out of there. Yeah, he doesn't. I don't even get to bring in. I don't even get to try to get it with the Dugtrio. He switches out, and my Dugtrio just takes spikes damage for nothing. So that doesn't work out. Does not work out at all. So I decided to say, hello, I have a Suicune. I'm getting tired of waiting here. So I decided to bring it out at this point because the longer this game lasts, the less likely I'm going to win. So I go for Surf. Probably should have gone for Ice Beam, anticipating the Zapdos switch, but I didn't. On the plus side, though, he doesn't know I have Ice Beam. So, yeah, you might just think this is a Roar Coon instead of a Ice Beam Surf Coon. with Calm Mind and Rest, of course. Yep, I go for Ice Beam again on the anticipating, I don't know, Zapdos staying in here, doesn't work out. Sends out Blissey and takes the Ice Beam. Don't get the Freeze, which I'm hoping at this point, because, well, it wouldn't matter. He could just switch out and the Freeze would be cured, so I don't know what I was thinking. But, you know, it's the heat of the battle. You're not thinking at 100% as you should. So, whatever. I'm just wasting PP, which is not good against a stall team. But I anticipate him passing the Wish off to Dusclops. And he brings Dusclops in, I go for Earthquake, and I knock out the Dusclops. And I could finally use Rapid Spin. But unfortunately, it doesn't work out. He gets a crit with the Thunderball on the Zapdos, and I can't... He can't put any more spikes up. He doesn't have to. He has 3 layers of spikes, and so I can't remove them, and I can't add spikes. So, yeah, that crit was kind of crucial. Not saying it decided who would win, but it definitely put an advantage on my opponents. Gave him a boost that he didn't need at this point. So, yeah. So it's a 5-4 game right now, and without any ability to get the spikes out, my team is going to take damage every time I switch. 25% of its health, of my Poke's health, are going to go down each time I switch. Combine that with Toxic from the Bliss and Roar from the Skarmory. Yeah, that's not good. I'm bringing Kun here because, well, it's time to start setting up. I don't have no options at this point, but with the Zapdos, that is almost impossible to do. I mean, I'm trying to figure out my odds of winning here. Try to set up with Kun, can't do that because of the Zapdos. I could Dragon Dance with the Salamence, but the Skarmory is going to block that. So those are my 2 setup pokes. I could try to set up with Bliss, but the Blissey is just going to take whatever the my Calm Mind Bliss does. So yeah, I try again to do something, but the Spikes damage plus the Seismic Toss force my Suicune to take a nap. Takes the opportunity to Wish. I mean, why not? So yeah, my only hope at this point is to anticipate a switch into Zapdos, use Ice Beam, get a critical hit of some sort, but yeah, I don't even know if that would kill it. I gained some momentum here. I anticipate him using Wish on the Celebi to take the opportunity to bring my Salamence, so I'm maybe getting a little bit more momentum here. Decided to go for Dragon Dance. I don't see why not. He uses Leech Seed. For whatever reason, he brings in Melodic here. I'm not sure why. Skarm would have been the safer switch, so that misplay on my opponent allows me to take out one of his pokes. I mean, it's not an essential poke. Melodic is not really a factor here at all. The factors in this game are Skarmory, Zapdos, and Blissey on my opponent's team. All I need to do is take out one of those, and I'd be in much better shape. But I suspect, since each of those pokes has a healing move, I'm pretty sure the Zapdos has Rest. I don't know. Did he use Rest already? I don't know. I'm not paying attention. No, he does not use Rest, so he may not have Rest. However, I mean, in all likelihood, it probably does. That sort of set would fit the team a lot better. So yeah, I decided to go for Calm Mind again against the Bliss, anticipating him using Wish again. All he could do is just stay in here and just heal off the damage I do. Yeah, he does that. So But at least he doesn't get to switch to anything that needs healing. So he uses Toxic in the meantime, and I have to switch out. I want to wake up my Coon here, because as I said, the only way I'm getting out of this is to surprise the Zapdos with an Ice Beam. Brings in his Scarm for whatever reason. I guess he's taking the opportunity to spike up a little bit more. Fine, speed this along, please. It's turn 72. But I don't want to win. I don't want to win just because. I don't want to lose just because I don't want to play anymore. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just that, you know, sometimes during these stall fests, you want something cool to happen, and that's something cool that just happened. Hidden Power Flying, he stays in, and the Celebi takes a ton. He'll die if he stays in one more time. I suspect he's not going to stay in here. Why risk the Celebi if you don't have to? Because obviously I'm faster here, but I switch because I know he's going to switch. And he does. He brings in his Skarmory, and that's good because my Blissey has Thunderbolt, and the Skarmory's almost within kill range, but I know he's going to switch there again, so I just take the opportunity to soft boiled up. Right now Blissey's keeping the Zapdos from just wrecking my team. And at turn 76, Callus, who you probably know at this point, decides to make fun of me for having played this long game at turn 77, saying he's already watched 4 games by another great player named B for Brutus. Yeah, my friend tends to do that. Oops, nope, I don't want to. Nope, not battling you. Anyway, where was I? Yes. So, I bring in the Salamence on the Blissey, go for Hidden Power, he switches to Scarm. I mean, this is the pattern that seems to be going. I bring in my Physical Sweeper on the Blissey, he switches to Skarmory. I bring in the Special Sweeper on the Skarmory, he goes to Blissey. This is the essence of the Skarm Bliss synergy on this team. But now that he's set up with all his spikes, he decides to Whirlwind, and my Dugtrio, who's just been sitting idly the entire time, took some spikes damage, and if he comes in again, since I have no way to remove the spikes, he's going to die automatically. So I might as well stay in here and go for Rock Slide. Do it, don't get a flinch, and he uses Whirlwind, so my Dugtrio is basically dead. Even though it's alive, I bring it in next time, spike damage is going to kill it. So technically, I have 4 pokes, but really I have 3. And those pokes are Salamence, Suicune, and and Blissey. And those are pretty good pokes to have in every situation except this. Oh my gosh, so many people are challenging me. Wait till I'm done recording this battle, guys. Anyway, I get so distracted. I'm so popular on Pokemon Online. Anyway, so here we go. Salamence and Blissey again. We're on this situation again. The reason why I didn't bring this Salamence in earlier is because I didn't know the Blissey didn't have Ice Beam, and he reveals to me it's a Wish soft-boiled Bliss, which is the pinnacle of the stall set Blissey. So I bring it in. At this point, I'm desperate, so I decide to stay in here and take the Toxic. I mean, if things go as they are, I'm just going to lose just by PP stall, and I'll be here a very long time than I have to. So if I'm going to lose, I might as well lose quicker. And if I'm going to, but if I have a chance to win, that was the opportunity to do it. If I got a crit, the Blissey would have been dead, but that didn't happen. So here I am again, trying to hit the Skarmory with Thunderbolt with my Blissey, but it doesn't work out. He sends in Zapdos for some reason. He's been sending out Bliss to handle my Blissey, but it hasn't, for some reason he just sends out the Zapdos. I wonder why. Go for Calm Mind. He shows me Roar on turn 89, so he has 2 pokes with Roar. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to make switching very hard, but I managed to bring in my Salamence on the Zapdos, and I get a Rock Slide, and he gets a flinch. So if he stays in here, I could kill the Zapdos, but he doesn't. He goes to Skarmory and takes the Rock Slide pretty well, and I'm taking... the longer I stay in here, my Salamence is pretty much going to get more and more poisoned, and it's going to die eventually if I stay in. So I just fodder off the Dugtrio because it's useless to me at this point. Yeah, great way to treat your Pokemon, but whatever. Just throw it on some spikes to die. So here we go. I bring my Bliss after I fodder off the Dugtrio. Go for Thunderbolt. The Blissey did not die. He switches in the Blissey, does not die, and unfortunately he's faster, so he gets to heal up. Go for Ice Beam, doesn't work out. I don't get a freeze, and I wouldn't have KO'd the Blissey. So sad. So we're on turn 95, and it's really looking bleak at this point. I don't really know what else I can do. Slowly but surely, my Salamence is going to die, and that's going to pretty much prevent me from taking out the Blissey. So, yeah, at this point I'm wondering, should I just forfeit at this point? But I do get an Ice Beam with... I do correctly predict him bringing the Ice Beam. I correctly predict he brings in the Zapdos, and I go for Ice Beam. And almost kills it, but it doesn't. He gets healed with Wish, and yep, that's been the story of my life in this game. Kalos proceeds to comment that he fucking hates Wish Bliss. I would have to agree, it's very annoying. Maybe I should use it. Then I could be annoying too. Nah, I won't do that to people. My stall team is already stallish enough. I don't need to add more stall to it. Maybe I can. I don't know, it's something in the future I should think about. But at this point he's just using Roar, forcing me to be, sent out, take spikes damage, sent out, take spikes damage. The only way I'm going to win at this point is my opponent seriously misplays. And the way he's played this game so far, I don't think he's going to do that. But there we go. I bring in my Salamence in on the Zapdos. I go for Rock Slide. I have an opportunity to go for Rock Slide here. If he stays in, I have an opportunity to kill the Zapdos. And I miss the Rock Slide, and he gets a crit Thunderbolt. That is the worst thing ever. So with my Salamence dead, that ruins... Yep, it's pretty much over at this point. I can decide just to make my opponent's life a living hell and just make him and force him to PP stall me. Then again, that would be inflicting living hell on myself too. I'm not in a particularly trollish mood, so I don't really want to do that. And plus, I'm a good sport. I wouldn't put my opponent through that. That's only sore losers kind of do that. They make their opponent PP stall in order to win. And yep, I go in the comments. I explain my reasoning here for forfeiting. And pretty much it's game over. I guess if I could bring the Coon in here, somehow survive a Thunderbolt, which is not going to happen, but gotta hope, and hit him with Ice Beam. He freezes, and I take him out, but of course that's not going to happen. So my Thunderbolt, my Suicune dies to a Zapdos Thunderbolt, and I basically forfeit because I'm not going to make my opponent just PP stall the Bliss. Not happening. So the official score is technically 3-1, but it would have eventually gone 3-0. So I thought this was a more entertaining stall battle than the last one I posted, but I'm really thinking about not doing stall battles ever again, unless it's really, 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 really good. But I thought this was entertaining, and that's why I provide these battles, because I think they're entertaining. But if you want to tell me off and tell me to never ever present these kinds of battles ever again, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and look forward to the next battle.